If you want my overall thoughts for this week's episode of NXT in just 5 words or less, well, here they are. Better than last week. Hey, what's up and how's it going, and welcome back, all NXT fans. I am Mike McRock for the MRB Wrestling Review Show. Right now I'm going to review this week's episode of NXT. And I have to say, I had a lot of fun with the show. I really liked it. I almost wanted to love it, but never quite got there. But I really did enjoy this episode of NXT. Mainly because of the storyline progression that we're starting to get now with the 3 main championships. You know, the NXT Women's Championship, the NXT Tag Team Championships, and the NXT Championship. So like that, on this episode, we get to see the start of the progression heading into the next 2-hour special, which I'm assuming is going to be on May 27th next month. So you got 4 or 5 episodes left to build up to that special event, and I think that they're starting off good. And it's a complaint that I had with the last 2-hour special, where I kind of felt like that they were rushing it. But this time, I think they're going to start to take their time with it and basically learn from their mistakes. Now, when it comes to this show, this felt like a loaded show. You had 5 matches and 4 segments. So yeah, it felt very loaded. But I did enjoy watching this episode of NXT. And I like what they done with their 3 main championships on the show, which I'll get to later on. But I want to start off this review with a question that it seems to be floating around now in the YWC. Who's going to have the better WWE career? Is it going to be Finn Balor or Hideo Itami? Well, based on this episode alone of NXT, it seems like the WWE is more high on Finn Balor than they are Hideo Itami. Mainly because I think that Finn Balor brings more to the table than Hideo Itami. He has the cool entrance. He will wear the makeup on the rare special occasion only when he needs to. And it seems like he's a better promo cutter than Hideo Itami as well. So I feel like the WWE has more faith in Finn Balor than they do Hideo Itami. Now, with that said, you start out the show this week with Finn Balor going one-on-one with Niagara Falls, Ontario's own Ty Dillinger in a one-on-one match. This was a very short match. Basically what this was an enhancement match for Finn Balor to win, because he was involved with Kevin Owens in the NXT Championship, coming off winning the tournament, then losing in a really good match, I thought, against Kevin Owens for the NXT Championship. Now NXT decides what to do with Finn Balor. What's next for Finn Balor? And I feel like a feud and a rivalry with Tyler Breeze, a short-term feud, could be a step down for Finn Balor, but at least it's something for him. And I like that it's giving Tyler Breeze something. It's giving Finn Balor something for the next 2-hour special event. And I wish I could say the same thing with Hideo Itami, because later on in the night, you have Hideo Itami go one-on-one with CJ Parker. Now, I already explained and given my thoughts about CJ Parker and his future endeavors and all that, etc., etc. But I wanted to focus more on Hideo Itami. And in this match, again, it's another enhancement match to get Hideo Itami over after competing at WrestleMania and losing in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Now he's back on NXT, and it seems like NXT doesn't really know what to do with Hideo Itami right now, but they know exactly what they want to do with Finn Balor. And that's the reason why I do believe that Finn Balor will have a better career than Hideo Itami. I feel like Hideo Itami just comes across as a one-dimensional character, kind of like Alberto Del Rio, and all he does is flip and kick his way around. I wish he would change his finisher, to be quite honest, because it feels like that he needs a more impactful move. Maybe he could use the GTS. I mean, the fans will go apeshit if he does that. I mean, it would generate a huge pop for Hideo Itami. Maybe he needs to do the GTS in future matches. just to have that special moment for him. But I think they're saving that GTS moment for a special event, hopefully for the next 2 hour special event, if they do have anything for him. But like I said, I feel like that NXT has more investment in Finn Balor because of what he does inside the squared circle. So the first backstage segment we got on a 4 backstage segment show with a 5-match card was a segment with Dana Brooke talking about how she's going to become the next Total Diva and the NXT Women's Champion, and showing off her muscles, showing off her body, all that stuff, etc., what have you. And I like Dana Brooke this week better than last week. Like I said, last week I thought her debut really sucked. It's not the greatest debut I've seen ever. But with this week, we get to see Dana Brooke talk on the microphone, and I think she's a better talker than she is a wrestler. I mean, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. I mean, we can be the best in-ring technician, and we probably suck on the microphone, and vice versa. And I think with Dana Brooke, I feel like she's a better talker than she is in the ring as a wrestler, already 2 weeks in. But I hope that she does improve in the ring as a wrestler, as a diva a NXT woman on the roster, and I hope better things for her. I hope that she doesn't become too Sasha Banks as someone with an attitude. I hope she carves her own identity as a female dominant type of role who has that attitude, but not be too Sasha Banks. I mean, NXT with their women's division has a good variety of women. You have the NXT Women's Champion Sasha Banks as that boss-like attitude girl who is not afraid to kick some ass every now and then, who will probably scatter if she loses by a count out or something like that. You have Bayley, who the kids love, and you just can't help but love her. You want to hug her. You have Becky Lynch, who's a total rock star, and you just want to hang out with her, if you want to go for that. And you have Charlotte, who's this tall, athletic beast who can probably annihilate the men on the NXT roster. So I like that NXT has a variety of women on the show. I just hope that Dana Brooke doesn't get lost in the shuffle. Speaking of NXT and their women's division, up next, it was Charlotte versus Bayley versus Becky Lynch in a triple threat number 1 contenders match to determine who will be next in line for the NXT Women's Championship. And going into this match, I was kind of iffy on it because I'm not really a huge fan of having a number 1 contenders match being involved in a triple threat formation. I would rather have the matches one-on-one or even in a battle royal or a tournament. However, coming out of this match, I would say this was pretty good. It was a well-paced match. As the match progressed, it got better and better and better. I really liked that moment where Charlotte had Becky Lynch in the powerbomb position, and then Bayley comes off the top rope with a shoulder block to Becky Lynch, and then Charlotte powerbombs Becky Lynch. Good tag team maneuver there. It was a great moment. It got the huge pop from the crowd, which this match needed. And as the match progressed from there, it just got better and better. It was a good climatic win at the end. You have Becky Lynch win the match by a really sly fashion. You had Charlotte applying the figure 4, turning it into a figure 8 on Bayley. And as Becky Lynch crawled and covered Bayley, she gets the 1-2-3, which sets up the match between Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks for the NXT Women's Championship, which I'm assuming is going to be at the next 2-hour special event. And what we got after that, however, let's just go back to this triple threat match first, but before I continue on. I did have some nitpicks and some issues with the match. Charlotte being in this match, I feel like she didn't really need to be in it because she already been there and done that with the NXT Women's Championship picture. There was a moment in the match where you had Bayley favoring her leg again, and as she was doing a flip, she was able to do it for some reason, and she was fine. I was like, well, psychology just got tossed out of the window. And also, this match could have been the first match on the card, or at least in the middle of the card, and it got the second filler segment on the show, which kind of left a bad taste in my mouth for some reason. It's kind of like they kind of threw this match under the bus, and they probably just didn't realize how good this match was when it came out at the end. I think they made a huge mistake, the way that they structured this show in terms of what is the highest priority, what matches needs to happen, what are more important matches. And I think, to me, this was a more important match than, say, Finn Balor and Ty Dillinger, because of the significance and purpose behind having two guys in a potential feud going forth to the next 2-hour show, as opposed to advancing a storyline between two women and a championship. So really, which is more important? The women's championship picture, or just two guys thrown in together for the sake of having a filler feud for the next 2-hour show? I'm just saying. And with that said, I feel like that NXT so far is doing a good job in starting to advance a storyline between Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. You had that backstage segment where you had Sasha Banks saying, "I made you," but no, Becky Lynch says, "I made me," and all that stuff, etc., etc. They're arguing back and forth. So I like that NXT is now starting to advance storylines and have hopefully some character development as well. I think if they're going to continue with this feud, have someone turn babyface, because the dynamics are going to be a little off. The fans are not going to know who to cheer for as the villain, as a heel, or as a babyface. I think one of them needs to turn babyface, and if anyone, it should be Becky Lynch, because she's a rock star. She's the one that comes out with the entrance, yeah, something that really hypes up the crowd, and I think that the fans can relate to someone like that, a rebel. And I think that NXT needs to turn Becky Lynch babyface in order for this feud to work, so I hope that they do that, and hopefully Becky Lynch gets some new character development going forth, and like I said, like the storyline progression here, and I hope good things coming out of it. Rhino faces a jobber, Rhino gores a jobber, and that's the end. Really, that was nothing special. It was just Rhino coming out, doing another jobber squash match. But what I want to talk about here is a potential feud that NXT could use for the next 2-hour special event. And I think Baron Corbin would be a pretty good candidate for anyone to face Rhino at this point. I mean, you've seen Rhino advancing Sami Zayn and making him look good, going for his feud with Kevin Owens, and I feel like that Rhino is just there to enhance some pretty good talent on the NXT roster, and I think a feud with Baron Corbin would benefit both of them. I think that if Baron Corbin worked with someone like Rhino, someone who has already been to the dance, been to WWE, this could really benefit someone like a Baron Corbin, or even a Bull Dempsey. You could put Bull Dempsey in a match with Rhino and have the two of them go at it, and probably establish Bull Dempsey as a top heel and have Rhino as the babyface. That would be something interesting as well. So I'm kind of debating on which match I would rather see. Maybe Baron Corbin, because the fans are highly on him, and I think that the WWE and more specifically NXT are more high on Baron Corbin. So I think that of anything involving Rhino, put him with Baron Corbin. That would benefit not only Rhino, but it would also benefit Baron Corbin as well, and it would benefit NXT. It's a win-win-win situation for all parties involved. And then we get into the main event on the show, and that was Kevin Owens in a non-title match going one-on-one with Alex Riley. And going into this match, you had Kevin Owens backstage talking about his match upcoming, And we get to the main event. What I like about this match is the character of Kevin Owens and his mindset going into it. You know, he was backstage just kind of laughing and joking, not really worried about Alex Riley because he already beat him. And I think if I were Kevin Owens in his position, I would definitely feel the same way. I mean, why would he take a guy seriously when he has already beaten that guy? I mean, it makes perfect sense for Kevin Owens to feel this way, that's for sure. And I have to say, this match was pretty good as well. It felt like the same match that we got a few weeks ago when they done that show in Cleveland, Ohio. You know, it is what it is. You know, it was a good match. It was a good way to end out the show. And it wasn't necessarily about this match in particular, but it was about the storyline development and the continuing storyline development with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. After you have Kevin Owens dominate Alex Riley at the end here, finishing him off with the powerbomb and the cannonball and all that stuff, you have Sami Zayn coming out to save the day when Kevin Owens was about to powerbomb Alex Riley again on the apron outside the ring. And these two guys just brawl the heck out of each other. You have refs coming out. You have staff coming out. It was just a complete mess, and I like brawls like this. I mean, this is a good way to advance a storyline between these two. And when Sami Zayn came out, you can feel the emotions from him. You can feel the rage. Sorry, Alex Riley, but Sami Zayn has beat you in the rage department this week. You can really feel him. You can feel the emotion out of him. And you feel like you want to see Sami Zayn kick Kevin Owens' ass. This accomplished a lot of things with this segment. You have Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, probably for the next 2-hour special event. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do on the 4 NXT episodes, probably before that 2-hour special event happens. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what is going to happen in the next few weeks going into this feud. And this feud left me wanting for more. You know, Sami Zayn gets his some sort of revenge, but it's not all the revenge that he wants. It wasn't a huge burial on Kevin Owens' part. It was just a big moment where Sami Zayn dives off the top rope onto the floor, involving Kevin Owens and a whole bunch of other people. It was a good moment. It will probably be used in the package to build up this storyline. I think that's mainly what this segment was there for. So this show ended off very well. The show started off kind of but as the show progressed, it was good. Maybe the Triple Threat number 1 contenders match for the NXT Women's Championship should have been the first match on the show. But with all that being said, I'm going to say that this week's episode of NXT was a pretty good show. I'm going to give it a B. If you saw NXT this week, what did you think about it? Feel free to leave those comments in the comment section below. And also, hit that subscribe button down below this video to subscribe to the MRB Wrestling Review Show. And on a final note to all you viewers watching, get plenty of rest and always do your best.